Should young actors move to New York City, or can you start your career from where you are? We're going to talk about that in this video. Plus, what if your goal is to be on Broadway? Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jill Dalton, a working actor living in New York City. Welcome to my channel, where I share insights, inspiration, audition tips, practical career advice, and behind-the-scenes stories about show business every week. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification button. So, should young actors move to New York City? At this point in time, New York City is beyond expensive. New York recently tied with Singapore as the most expensive city in the world. Rents are sky high here. The average rent in New York City as of October 2023, $4,768 a month. It cost 10 grand to move into a new apartment here. But hey, if you have a trust fund, some relatives you can crash on their couch, or 2 to 3 roommates that you can share a place with, then sure. Used to be, Brooklyn was cheaper, no more. LA comes in second most expensive city to live in. How do I afford to live here? I have a rent stabilized apartment. That means it's regulated in terms of how much they can raise the rent. So I have a very reasonable rent. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but when I moved to New York City in 1978, I had $70 in my wallet, my American Express card, a place to stay, and the possibility of a part-time job. A friend of mine was subletting a studio from an opera singer who was on tour. It was this dingy pre-war building on the corner of 74th and Broadway. Our entrance to this apartment was in the hallway. There was no kitchen. There was a tiny sink, half a refrigerator, a hot plate in the corner. There was a large window, but it was so dirty you could barely see out of it. There was a single bed, so I slept on the floor. I didn't care. I didn't care that New York City was bankrupt. Crime rates were sky high. The Bronx was burning. The city was recovering from the summer of Sam. They just experienced a massive blackout with massive looting and garbage strikes. I didn't care. I was so naive. I wanted to act and nothing was going to stop me. Plus, I saw John Lennon and Yoko Ono walking up Columbus Avenue in their matching fur jackets. And I said, that's a sign. I'm in the right place. But here's some good news. These days, most auditions are done via Zoom, even callbacks. I recently had a callback for a commercial in person, which was shocking. Now, the breakdown for the commercial said in large, bold, all caps, local hires only. But get this, when I was there, I met 2 people. One had flown in from Florida. The other one had taken the train from upstate New York. So if you get a call back and it's in person and you can get there, now it could be problematic if you book a part on a film or TV show because these schedules are always changing and it's at the last minute and you have no warning. They might call you at 6 o'clock and say, we've decided to shoot your scene tomorrow due to weather. You have a 5:30 a.m. report to set. Good luck getting there. But here's more good news. If you're a young actor starting out, all right, I would not move to New York City. I just wouldn't. It's insanity at this point with the rents, and thank God for Trader Joe's. So if you're a young actor starting out, study, take classes. You can take them on Zoom. You can do scene study, audition classes, get experience wherever you are. Do local theater, commercials, whatever they have, and save your money. Number 1, save your money. Here's another thing about New York. New York is a theater town. That's why I moved here. I wanted to be on Broadway. But here are some hard facts. On average, musicals make up 75% of all productions, and most straight plays struggle to survive. That's why they hire TV and movie stars, because of the box office draw. And they bring in shows from London that have a limited run. They sweep the Tonys and leave. And New York loves their stage actors, and they hire them for film and TV projects. I always like to check and see who booked the role I auditioned for. Miss America, the role I read for, Julie White. Tony Award winner, Best Actress. Being the Ricardos, the role I read for went to Linda Lavin, another Tony Award winning actress. This is what you're up against in New York. However, If you're a triple threat, meaning actor, singer, dancer, and you're brilliant, then New York City may be the place for you. I'm not an expert on how Broadway works. I've done one Broadway show. I've auditioned for a few others. Now, I have a friend who's done several Broadway shows, and let's just say that she's in the know. So I asked her, what's the deal right now for Broadway and theater auditions? And she said it's a mixture of everything. Typically, they do self-tapes first, and then if the actor's in town, they bring him in to read for the creative team. But if the actor's out of town, they Zoom them in. But their goal is to have all auditions back in person. The casting people prefer it, the actors prefer it. Now, another exception for moving to New York. If you're a seasoned actor and you've got your training, your union cards, good credits, what I do though, before I actually moved here, is I would pay to take workshops online with casting directors and agents. You can do that on Zoom. And you get their feedback and see if maybe you can find an agent that way. If I were starting out today, no way would I come to New York City. I'd go to Atlanta or Chicago. Atlanta is really film and TV. Chicago is much more theater and comedy. Chicago has great theaters like Looking Glass, Steppenwolf, The Goodman. And for comedy, there's Second City, there's IO Comedy Theater Training, which has launched the careers of Amy Poehler, Stephen Colbert. SNL scouts Chicago for new cast members. But those cities are expensive too. Turns out that Atlanta is number 9 and Chicago is number 8, and Chicago is cold and windy. Don't be discouraged, because if it's your dream, you will find the perfect place to go, and just start in a smaller market where you can get work and have a much better standard of living than if you live in LA or New York. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe and click the notification bell. And if you're planning on moving to any of these places, let me know in the comments. Till next time.